friends, Valeria here from Chase & Paper. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm sharing a project that I just came up with and I think you're going to like it as much as I do. These are Faux Vintage Matchbooks. So these little matchbooks look kind of like the olden days matchbooks, except inside, instead of the matches, we have these cool little words. So this is like a word bank. They come in handy in collages, as word tabs, and there are various uses for junk journals. So here is one of my matchbooks, and it works just like a real matchbook. You tuck the front in. Here's the back. Here is another one. Works the same way. There are two layers of different words that you will be able to use in your junk journals. These are really handy to have around, and they are so easy to make, they're pretty much addictive. All right then, so let's go ahead and see how easy it is to make one of these. Let's roll. So first of all, you want to print out your match boxes, and in order to do this, it's really simple. You just have to find the images of the vintage match boxes that you like. I actually went on Pinterest and I searched there. Just be sure to find the images that are available for free in the public domain so that you do not have any issues with the copyright. You don't want to violate any copyright laws. And then you don't need any fancy graphic design program. I put this together in Microsoft Word. So you want to open a new document in Microsoft Word and then put together a sheet with images of your match boxes. So what I did is I inserted my image on the bottom, and then I copied and pasted it after making it the size that I like, and I flipped it over so it looks like that. See, it's sort of head to head, one directly above another one. And then, you know, for the variety, I just used different images, but I placed them exactly the same way. Same image and the same image flipped over. This one is a little different because I actually put the picture, a different picture in the back. That's up to you if you want the same images or different images on the front and back. For the words, I did pretty much the same thing. I used Microsoft Word again, and I typed up some words, the ones that I found to be helpful and useful in my junk journals and collages. And you can get really creative here. You can use any words that you like, but I typed them up in blocks of 4 like that, and then I played with fonts. I changed the fonts to make them all different, just so it could be used in a variety of ways and you know, in a variety of styles. And what you want to do is leave a margin here of about 1¼ inches at least, because you're going to need that in the project. Also, it's important to note that I printed this out on a heavier cardstock. So, okay, so it's thicker than a copy paper, and it's off-white. Okay, so now let's go ahead and cut these boxes apart. All right, so now that we have strips with matchbook images, we want to go ahead and fold it right here in the middle between the two images. So let's go ahead and do that. There we are. It's folded. This is what we have now. Okay, now we are going to cut this extra piece of white paper from the front of our matchbook cover. Okay, so this short part is now the front, and this is the back. Let's go ahead and fold this piece from the back upwards like this. Okay, here we are. So this is how it's going to work in our matchbook. As you can see, this little flap is a bit too large, so let's make it shorter. All we need here is about ½ inch flap. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it to about 1/2 inch size. Next, I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges on my matchbook to make it look really old and antique. I'm using Distress Oxide in a Vintage Photo color by Ranger. And I'm just going around the edges. Next, we are going to cover up this white flap that's located in the back, but it's going to be visible on the front. So I don't want it to look like this stark white. I just want to cover it up with some washi tape, and I'm using this vintage looking washi tape by Tim Holtz, and I am placing it down like that, cutting it off. And this little edge, I'm just going to fold it in for some added extra strength. And now just cutting off these edges on my washi tape, here and here. This is what our matchbook looks like on the front right now, and this is the back. So the next thing we need to do is we need to place our word matches in. Let's go ahead and cut our words. Now remember, you want to leave the margin of about 1 1/4 inches on the left side from your word blocks. So this one is good. Just make sure to leave the same margin right here, your second blocks. And this looks about right there. Now let's go ahead and cut these blocks out. So now we have 4 word blocks. They are cut out and ready to go inside of our matchbook. Let's just measure them for the size and see how they fit. So as you can see, they're a bit too long, so we're going to make these word blocks shorter. We are going to cut off on top first, and now we're going to cut on the bottom. Let's check if they fit now. And I'm pushing it all the way in at the bottom here, and I'm closing my matchbook. I can see the tops fit right underneath the fold, which is exactly what I want. Now all we have to do is cut in between the words so they look like matches and they are easy to pull out. So you don't have to use all of them. You can pull out each separate word as you need to use them in your journals. So I'm going to cut directly between the words, but I'm going to leave this margin intact right here. See how I'm stopping right where the word begins? Like that. There you go. Now we have 4 separate words. Now let's put them inside the matchbook. I'm placing it directly in the center and pushing all the way in, all the way up to that fold. And I'm going to staple very close to the bottom, maybe like 1/8 inch from the bottom in the center. And now our matchbox should be able to close easily. And there we are. Here's your matchbox. Let's make another one a slightly different way. Okay, so if you find it intimidating trying to figure out how exactly to print these pictures out in your Microsoft Word so that they sort of, you know, one is right side up and the other one is upside down. So if you haven't any trouble with that, or maybe you just don't have access to a printer, that's okay. Now, first of all, you don't even have to use the matches images, okay? You can use any picture that you have on hand, maybe something you purchased from somebody's Etsy shop, like printables with different images. So all you have to do is make sure you have the image in the right size, and you don't even have to have 2 of those same images. You can have different images. So your matchbook will just feature 1 image on the front cover and a different image on the back cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 different images this time. I'm going to use this image of the matchbook, of an antique matchbook on the front, and on the back I'm going to use this image of an antique calendar, which is going to add a nice touch to my matchbook and sort of make it look even older. Next, I am going to grab some craft cardstock and I'm going to cut a strip right here. This strip is going to be approximately 2 inches wide, just about. But you can adjust the size based on the size of the image you have and based on the size of the matchbook that you want to make. Let's go ahead and cut out the images that we have printed. This time I'm completely cutting the image off. I'm not going to fold anything. So here's my first image for the front cover and my second image for the back cover. Let's go ahead and fold our strip of craft cardstock into a matchbook. So again, we're going to fold the front down like this. If you're not sure what size do you need to fold, you can use your image to sort of measure against that image. There, that seems like a good size because it fits. And now we are folding the bottom. Folding the bottom up like this. And now this is our front. This is our back. And now let's cut this flap shorter. Remember, we only want it to be about 1/2 inch tall. Now we can go ahead and glue our image to the front. There it goes. All the way in the center. And now the back image, which is a calendar, goes to the back. Just make sure your direction is the same, just to make sure that you don't glue anything upside down. Placing it to the back. All right, so now let's go ahead and cover this flap that's going to be visible on the front. Let's cover it with the washi tape just to make it look prettier. There. Cutting it off. Folding my edge and sticking it on the inside. Nobody is ever going to see that again, but it's going to add strength. Now I am cutting off any extra washi tape that you may have on the sides. And now we need to insert our word block in here. We are going to prepare our word block the same way. We cut it down to size. We check it that it fits. And then we cut in between the words. I went ahead and I cut both of these blocks out and I cut in between the words. And now all we have to do is staple it inside of our matchbook. I'm pushing them all the way down to the bottom. And now I'm going to use my stapler. Again, I'm going to staple it about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. And here we are. There. It tucks in easily. And here's our matchbook. Just for the reference, my matchbooks measure about 3 inches tall and 2 inches wide. Yours don't have to be that size. I just found this to be a good size because it easily fits the words that are good size and going to be very useful for your junk journals and collages and other projects. And they're just slightly bigger than regular matchbooks would be. But you can make them any size. You can make them larger or smaller. It just depends on the size of the images that you print out initially. So here you go, my friends. I really hope you like this quick and easy project. I hope you give it a try. Please be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.